Brings new technologies to the present world, to present to the world, such as carbon-sat equipment for measuring greenhouse gases to provide validations for the carbon marketplace, and technology such as satellite imaging for small-scale emission hotspots of CO2. He also brings explanation of how measuring technology provides validations for carbon credit marketplace. Arnildo will discuss new positions on climate change and suggest studies on energy transition. He will explain how mega companies like airlines and manufacturers, industries and countries like Brazil and Canada will lead in regulating carbon credit market and will work within the carbon offset program specifically for developing countries. Projects that reduce, avoid, or remove greenhouse gas emissions from the atmosphere. CEO and owner of Schildt Accessoria Ambiental. Arnildo is also the CEO of World Sister Cities Brazil, an organization committed to facilitating global relationships between cities and communities based on cultural, educational, and informational trade exchanges. Also with him we have Reg Faubert. He's a program portfolio manager in Western Canada and Territories for an organization called INSAT. Reg is the INSAT's program portfolio manager. Reg came to INSAT from a 33-year career in BC Civil Service, working primarily in aviation transportation ministry. Reg developed and administered many provincial funding programs, including the BC Air Access Program, supporting airport capital projects, and Indigenous-focused programs in the Highway 16 corridor, and multiple aviation programs during the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2024, the BC Aviation Council awarded Reg a Lifetime Achievement Award for long-term public contributions to British Columbia's air services, always believing that there is a strong role for the province in aviation. So we have two excellent presenters. I think we'll start with the person who traveled the furthest to be with us today. So Arnildo, you have the floor, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. My pleasure to be here, and thanks for the Council of Manitoba Aviation to invite, and for the Blue World Foundation too to give me the opportunity to be here. I bring some slides about the aviation, but in the morning, Suzanne gave us teachers a class about sustainability, and I will go directly to the carbon sat. It's what we're doing in Brazil, what we try to do, and we develop through the United Nations group and the World Bank and NIGA group from the World Bank. It's a partnership with the big tech companies in the world and the nanotechnology. We bring a few information for how to make the measurement of the carbons by airplanes, without airplanes, in the forestry, with the grains, the commodities around the world. Like Brazil is a country who export a lot of things all over the world, and the Canadian people also do a lot of things in grains, flowers, sunflowers, beans, rice, sugar cane in Brazil. So those are things of fuels, they will change the kind of fuels. Take a look at the air for the atmosphere transference of technology. We do a few things with the nanotechnology in London in the first moment, and after that we take inborn with the UNFCCC, the coordination, and the IPCC to have the connection with the satellites to bring the technology together. And in Canada, through the big airlines, the groups and mechanisms they already have implanted here, we have connections through the South region in Brazil and Latin America, and the RCC is a regional climate change of the United Nations in Panama, and also we will have one in the next March in Brazil. So in this way, we take the university level, the students, and put together several universities in Brazil to find out ways to reduce the carbons in the atmosphere. And we find two ways. 2 new unicorns being planted in Brazil, and we gonna host in the next November the 3rd conference of United Nations of Climate Change, COP30. I will invite everybody to be there if it's possible. And at that moment, we will present to the world the equipment will make the measurement of 25 gases at the same time. And we go to the international air companies and take those sensors of gases and put together in one equipment like a notebook, and then we go to the forestry and we use in 3 points different and connect with the satellites and have the information in 15 minutes. Right now, the timeline to have one project of carbon credit, we need to spend 7 months to 2 years to have the information back for us to proceed to go ahead to make the presentation of the document of the certificate of the carbon. And it's a lot of time, and we spend a lot of money. For one project for the 100 hectares, we spend $100,000. So it's not compensation of the volume of money we spend and the volume of money we take when we sell the carbon credits. So the equipment will do this in 3 days, and we spend the farmers and the companies, the air companies spend only a few dollars, like a $300, $400 for the cost of use the equipment, and then you have the carbon credits edited from the World Bank. You can go to your bank, Scotia Bank, World Bank, or other banks around the world and take the money from the forest compensation of the carbon credits. So in this discussion, we find many problems because right now, all over the world make the NDC's decisions. Only Brazil was not signed of the document. And the last November, the day 14 in Baku, in Azerbaijan, Brazil signed the document. And in the next March, in the 3rd of March, a few days from now, Brazil will put in the market, in the international market, in the world trade, and all NASDAQ, Tokyo, Bonn, Berlin, and the others in trades international also, they will put the documents for sale carbon credits, the regular carbon credits. For you buy 1 carbon credits right now, you pay $8 to $18 in Brazil, 1 ton. For March 1 will be $175 per ton. So the market exploded, growing up so fast, and a lot of companies and corporations around the world, they are already waiting for the day it's open, the market in Brazil, to buy those carbon credits. On the other hand, we don't have those carbon credits ready. We need to make the project, and the project takes time. As I said before, at least 7 months. With the carbon sat we will present in the next copy, we can do in a more week, 3-4 days, and have the money back and the payback. So the air companies around the world, United, Delta, American, Boeing, all those other companies, they right now need, before it take off, need to pay the carbon credits for the national institutions all over the world for each country. So they're looking for those carbon credits in the market, but don't have professionals, don't have students and workers and companies who do that, because then the price goes up. And the equipment carbon sat will be the unicorn from IPCC in Finland. We already make the deal, make the agreement to put and to make the distribution of this equipment all over the world. The authorization to do that will be through the United Nations and the World Bank. It's called a prototype carbon found inside the bank of the World Bank. And Brazil, Africa, some places in Asia are the most largest forestry in the world who can deal with those carbon credits for the market. And I think, and the other, for the place of the air companies, the solution for their companies will be to negotiate before with each country who have the forestry, who have those grains or the other commodities who can change or can have those, the condition of the certificate to put, to make money with the certificate. And the university in Brazil, they make transfer of technology, and Canada could be one big dealer together to have those negotiating carbon credits. Right now, Canada don't use its own forest because they have a lot of forest north of Canada, but they don't make those projects of carbon set, of reduction of emission of carbon. But they will in the future. They will first buy from the other countries and then use the owner production of carbon credits. And other thing interesting is because the satellites programs give us in real time, online and on time, all those information of 75 kinds of different gases of emissions of carbon too. So you will, in the next few days here in Winnipeg, through the labs and universities and the governmental level, make some kinds of negotiation to liberate for Canada and Brazil, change those and transfer technology, and also in the market of banks, the official banks, Bank of Brazil, Bank of Canada, Scotia Bank, and other banks, to buy and to sell the carbon credits we already have done and is ready to sell. So I have a lot of plans, the Brazilian, the government level, at the focal point, I think so in Canada, have so this institution to deal with the carbon credits. But is not implementing the system. It will be doing the next 3-4 months, because in the middle of the year, UNFCCC will put the 164 countries and then more 32 countries in the end of the year working in the carbon sets and the carbon assets of the banks all over the world. And that moment, Brazil will be the pioneer to show to the world the change of fuels like sugar cane and the others from the trees, the oils. We have already patents, all those things in many countries. I don't know if the Brazilian government will make this in Canada for protection, but I don't know exactly right now. I think not. It will be good for Canada because the negotiation could be less, the price go less and less. And I will also bring the second point is for the combination of the agreements they have done in Paris, but the implementation will take the next 10, 15 years. So it's a long time, but right now we are in a turning point. If we don't do the changes, many big problems in the climate change are gonna rise for us. Because right now in Brazil, it was last week 50 degrees Celsius. And then my arrival here 3 days ago is -5 degrees. but here is the winter and that is summer. But the difference is more than 10 degrees Celsius in the last years only. So we have flood, we have many other problems in the cities, in the large cities in Brazil, and we try to find solutions. And one time more, the solutions are in the academia, the universities, because the students have total different minds of saw the problems and give some kind of solution. So those big corporations we have around the world, and from Brazil, here in Canada, we have Marco Polo, we have Gerdau, those we work already together, and we try to do the best deal between us, country by country, and city by city to the sister cities programs. I think it's many things we can discuss in those direction of develop programs and projects in Brazil and projects in Canada. And I will give my best with the government level and represent directly the state of Rio Grande do Sul in South Brazil, is between Uruguay and Paraguay and Argentina, and many of times in the sister cities programs we work together with the Itamaraty, the embassy in Brazil, to put sister cities programs with cities by cities, state by state, and country by country. And I know we have some discussions right now with Lula da Silva and Trudeau to make Brazil sister cities from Canada, or country cities, sister cities. So we'll be in the finish of the year, I think at the COP30, they will sign this agreement and will open the doors for import and export products all over Brazil to Brazil and from Canada to Brazil. I speak a lot, but I explain a little bit only the carbon side. So we have the authorization from the UN to use the satellites and the Starlink. They make the agreement, and the last 3 years ago with the President Bolsonaro and Elon Musk come to Brazil and put 4 satellites for us in the Amazonia area, because it's the most important for the world and for Brazil too. And also we have other 4 biomes, Cerrado, Pampas, Mata Atlântica, and Suroeste and Mato Grosso do Sul. It's about waters and other kind of sustainable projects of carbon assets. Also, we have a deal with Japan, with the Bank of Japan, to explore those kinds of products we can develop from now on in direction of the carbon sales certificates. Those certificates are already in the Central Bank in Brazil and Bank of Brazil. We have right now about 200 billion carbon certificates. And the other thing is the first company in Brazil who do the certificates, because Vera is bankrupt in South Brazil. They make many problems to sell the carbons around the world, and we discuss with the United Nations, and we bring a new certificate in Brazil called Safe Web, and this company will work in those certificates of digital twin, nanotechnology, and digital certificate, so cannot have fakes in the papers and the documents with the governments. I will just pass a few just a few information about the airspace company and the air companies. How is the deal? What the numbers right now they have, the official numbers. The influence of the emissions, the will be the first, the type of the aircraft, the flying distance, the load and efficiency, because small airports function very well, and the big airports have a lot of problems all over the world. And the kind of the footprints, domestic, international flight, each company has its own program. So it's just not a statistical information and numbers, but is the way to do it. And the emissions right now, we use the two biggest companies in the world. They already deal a lot. They make many programs, internal programs, to put down the numbers. And the kind of the aviation fuels, it's kind of equipment, and also the syntheticals, the biofuels, the normal fuels. Right now, Brazil make a large program with sugar cane, alcohol, the measurement of emissions, the solution of the fuels. The labs in Brazil, we have a few connections with in the area of Amazonia and Mata Atlântica. The big companies already work together there to develop new fuels. And the initiative, the focal point is to 2050, but we need to do something 2035, because at that moment the price will come down of the carbon credits, and the market of all over the world for the 2050 will be $700 trillion. So it's a lot of money. It's a new kind of money in the market. So it's different of everything. It's just paper. And also, the hydrogen is a possibility we can use, the adaptation of the new technology, and the regulation is also something we need to, the politics need to be discussion and to develop those things of harmonization and international policies to reduce the emissions. The changes of the impact, the emission reductions, footprint, green economy, industrial innovation, public awareness. To implement these things takes 10, 15, 20 years. So there's a lot of time and a lot of money we need to spend. And the company don't have those available right now. We need to take more time to do that. And in Brazil we call CAF, is the innovation of the reduction of carbon emission in aviation, and there they try to put in the airport of São Paulo one new mechanism of carbon efficiency for photovoltaics, wind power, and those other things. But those equipments, those airplanes, don't use those kind of resources of fuel. So it's just to show to the world something is done. And we need go in the other way. We need planting more trees. We need to use those oils, and that will be the best way to do something for us, for our sons, and for the future generation. Some materials we can do the new kind of diesels. So we have a lot of them. In Africa, have more than 20 different kinds. Brazil, other 30. The implementation, the capability, the sustainability, and impact reduction depends only at the politicians' level. The people just can look and can buy some carbon credits and nothing happens. So I think, as I said in the beginning, Mrs. Suzanne yesterday and today morning give us good information of the sustainability kind of the way we can conduct from now on the development of technology. And we are here to try to make those connections and bring technology we have in Brazil and take from Canada some technology to Brazil too.